Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Stocktwits Nation. Good morning to you, Ben.
Good morning to you, Katy
Did you
Perry.
sleep well?
I slept quite well, actually. My dog has a hot spot on his tail currently,
What's a
so he's
hot
got to
spot?
sleep in. It's they chew too much, and he's got a little open sore, and he otherwise has to wear a cone, but not when he's sleeping in the room with me.
I
So I
love a
can hear
dog in a
him.
cone. I love it.
Yeah, he
Uh,
really doesn't like it. Ugh, poor
oh,
guy.
well, that's
He's
okay.
just.
How old is he?
Hey, Doug, stop doing that. He's doing it right now. He's chewing on his tail. He's two. Doug, thank you very much.
Doug. Come on,
Yeah, his
man.
name's Doug.
Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day. The joke is obviously that Ben is here. In for
Yeah,
shy.
jokes on it.
Joke's on you, everyone. But yeah, Ben, we've never met. I feel like I saw you in a Mac Weldon ad, so I feel like I know you on an intimate level.
Oh, that's very
So
funny.
do you have a code to drop for that or anything, or you want to shout
No, they
out?
didn't. No.
No code?
And apparently it's airing all over, all over for the last couple months, and I
Yeah.
still get DMs about it.
I
And
was
I
like, who's
don't
that
make
guy
it.
with a giant head? And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
who's the guy with the big head and the awkward physical movements?
it's Ben from Ben and
Yeah.
Emil. Are you sad that Emil's not here and I'm here?
No, it's nice to have a bit of a break.
Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like Emil and I kind of look similar. I feel like we could be siblings.
I totally disagree.
We
Well,
both we both
maybe.
have
You
like
both have
curly
dark
dark
eyes.
hair,
Yeah.
and I'm
You're,
assuming Italian.
yeah, good assumption. You're Italian?
Yes. Well,
Mm.
40%. Did you do
What's the other
23andMe? Do
60?
you know what's your mix?
Me, I'm Ashkenazi Jew,
Nice.
half. It's Poland, Austria, and I just found out a little bit of Romanian. Just European Jew, and then the other half is like Finnish and a little British and Irish.
Ooh,
So
British.
I guess
Yeah,
you
and
could
I
say
didn't
I'm
mean
white.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but like someone's gonna have your data anyway, so
Yeah, I really don't care actually.
I'm the same. Whatever, do what you will with it.
Make a little money. Good for
You
you.
know, I don't know what weirdness is gonna happen. I'm always like, you know what? I know I'm not gonna commit a heinous crime, and if someone in my orbit does, like that's on them. So,
That's pretty bold of you. You're assuming no crimes of passion in the future.
oh, well, we'll see. We will definitely see about that.
You never
Um,
know. Accidents happen.
well, yesterday was interesting. I'm curious what you
Yeah.
think, Ben, because we did the morning show. Everything was in the red. It was like, I was freaking out. I like turned away for 2 seconds to like go work on some of my regular job. Apparently, Jim Cramer had been like, nobody buy anything. And then everything started ripping. So what was your read on what went down yesterday?
I think that after Friday's dismal close, gap down was not so much expected, but if there was to be a gap down, I was talking to a couple trader friends. Huge shout out to Brian Lund, friend of Stocktwits, longtime user, great guy. He was speculating, and I agreed with him that any kind of gap down might result in a bit of a relief rally. And sure enough, he called it, and I wasn't too surprised. I played it a little bit myself, but it took me a while to actually jump on board. I waited for the red to green move
Mm-hmm.
before I bought some calls. I bought some weeklies, and then I bought some same day expiration ones for today. Um, I just feel bad for Jim Cramer. I mean, he's fine. He's a gazillionaire, but he's got to know that he's a joke to a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
traders, right?
Well, I'll be a joke for that much money. Whatever.
Same.
You
I
can make fun of
don't
me all
care.
you
I'm a
want. You can make
joke
an
for
inverse
no money,
ETF.
so
Yeah.
sheesh.
He owns
But
restaurants. Yeah, it's fine. It's
he
just
owns
funny at this.
restaurants?
Yeah, it's creepy that I know that actually.
What does he own?
I don't know, like some Italian restaurant in Brooklyn because he was tweeting about it, and I was like, maybe I'll go to Jim Cramer's Italian restaurant. I never went. That would have been weird.
I would
Um,
love that. I bet he's a good hang too. He seems
oh
like a
yeah,
fun. Yeah, he gets too much shit, I think.
he's looking
I'm
really
allowed to cuss in
spry
here,
lately
right?
though. I feel like he's been cycling or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
well,
wiry.
I mean, he's an old man. He's got his. I'd rather him be wiry than a little overweight. 'Cause I'm concerned.
So okay? So thinking about today, you're obviously not going to follow what Jim Cramer does, but what's the plan for today? After
Uh,
opening bell, what moves you got up your sleeve?
I am eager to see. I'm kind of anticipating an inside day, uh, inside of yesterday's bar, perhaps. I think that mm, with Liberation Day coming tomorrow, there's so much bad baked in. Everybody is assuming the absolute worst, that anything even less than the worst thing possible, I think could result in everybody just kind of collectively going, "Oh, that's it," and then yeah,
You think
the
that could, so
Bears.
if it's not that bad tomorrow, you think that'll be like, let's go. We're moving on.
I think it's possible for another retest of the 200-day moving average
Okay.
across the board. We are back below the 5-day simple moving average, which I know Brian Shannon, another friend of Stocktwits, has harped on as being a crucial near-term resistance to get back over, and currently that's sitting just below 569 on the SPY. So I think it's possible that we regain that, and I surely would like to see that. I mean, everybody stepped in yesterday at Bulls, at least at that recent low from March 13th, so that was good. And looking at the weekly chart, I think that there's room to rally. I think that there's room to try to retest last Wednesday's high. I think that it's possible that we rally straight back up to like last week's high.
Right. Well, we'll see. I think is he doing this announcement like at the Rose Garden or something weird? Like everything's got to be a freaking
Honestly,
a
I can't
dramatic
keep up.
showing.
I don't I don't I don't have the mental bandwidth, and I know even his most diehard supporters at this point have exhaustion from this administration. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. Oh, I have to point out also, the volume yesterday was was really really nice to see with paired with that candle. A lot of buyers
Okay.
stepped in. That's what you want to see at a kind of capitulative low. So
Okay. So
I
you'll be
think that there's
watching
room to
that one
go.
today as well
Yeah.
as
Oh,
we
and
head
I
towards Liberation Day.
yeah, and did Tesla isn't Tesla due to put out their delivery numbers?
Um,
I think they may have because it's up. It's up.
Tesla delivery. Let's
It's
see.
up. It's up a little bit right now
Key
in the
delivery
pre-market.
data. Oh, you know what? I'm not logged into Barron's. I love you, Barron's. I actually pay for Barron's. I hate when that happens when I'm in the wrong browser.
You pay for Barron's of all services?
I like run my own business so I can like write these off. But and I'm
Sure.
also the worst at subscriptions. Like I have Paramount Plus for some godforsaken reason. I think I
Yeah.
was gonna watch the Harrison Ford Western.
Mm.
I gotta shut that
I'm
off.
such a cheap bastard. I will not hesitate to spend, I don't know, $100 at the grocery store. Well, because that's essentials. But I love these little sumo oranges that are literally like $2 each. I will buy those without hesitation.
Are
But when it
those the
comes,
ones that have like the cleanest peel ever?
yeah,
Okay.
They're ugly as all get out. You look at that and you go, that orange probably tastes like shit. But then you peel that thing,
Yeah.
peels like a dream, tastes like a dream. So it's exactly how an orange should taste. They really
Amazing.
nailed it.
This episode is sponsored by oranges.
Sumo
While
oranges.
you were in your weird orange tangent, I was
Mhm.
looking up. So the Tesla deliveries are coming tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay, that's
Analysts are
fun.
projecting the lowest quarterly performance in more than 2 years. So I don't know what's going on with
Okay.
Tesla right now. I don't know.
Now, what is that gives us? That gives us, I think, a tradable edge because with everything in the news about Elon Musk and every Tim Walls gloating at, I mean, we now know that Tim Walls kind of called the bottom because he was boasting about enjoying seeing Tesla stock drop every day. Uh, that's a tradable low, in my opinion. And
Okay.
since everything is now priced for the absolute worst possible numbers, anything less than the worst possible numbers, I think results in, excuse me, quite a squeeze on Tesla as well.
So
Personally, I
you
got some.
making moves now or are you waiting?
Yeah, I already have some weekly 270 calls in
Okay.
anticipation of that. So
All right.
We'll
I
see.
know, I
I
know
think it's
you like
possible.
love Elon Musk personally, so it must be very fun for you to follow this company.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Musk head. I think that he's so special, and what he's doing is very brave. And I wish people would just give him a break because he's sacrificing. Look, he's sacrificing his life. He's sacrificing his company, his reputation, and people need to be nicer to him.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's fake. I believe that he cried in the Oval. I fully, you could just tell when someone's, especially as a woman, you could tell when a man's a crier. Like, I could tell
Oh
you're a
yeah,
crier. I could tell.
and that's okay.
Like, that
That's
wasn't
I'm
even
a
acting.
crier.
That was real.
I cry, but I cry at man things like when you have to put down a dog
Oh, God. It's like,
and like
it's not even 9:30 in the morning. I don't want to
yeah, we
think
can't
about
be
that.
thinking about dying
Ugh,
dogs.
let's not.
Uh,
Let's not, Ben. I do want to ask you actually, because I know a little bit about your lore. Like, I was not familiar with your game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like a 25-year-old guy in LA, so didn't know who you were.
okay.
But I heard you did the Vine thing. Did you see this news that with the merger of X and XAI, Vine might be back? And if so,
Oh,
would you go back to Vine, where it all began?
um, I think that it's. I don't like that. I think that it had its time. There was an opportunity years ago to revive it, and it just came and went. I think that people, the people who are like, "Oh my God, bring Vine back," they're yearning for, they're yearning for,
Bygone era. You
yeah,
can't go
thank you,
back.
a bygone era. You
Yeah.
can't recreate that. It had its time. It laid the foundation for what TikTok would become. Even if it was still around, it never would have reached the level of popularity um, that TikTok has. It just was the features and stuff and the global reach of TikTok. There's no chance in hell that it would be able to achieve the same kind of just the scope of
Yeah.
it's just unattainable, and it's if it were to come back, yeah, people would dick around with it, but it would just be a novelty at this point. It would just be,
Yeah.
oh man, remember the it's a it's a remember the 90s type thing at this point. Like, oh man, remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Remember Fruit by the Foot? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
That
bringing
was
it back.
also the period. So I was working at like a digital marketing agency at the time. And I remember like Vine was popping off. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, like what's Mondelese's Vine strategy? I'm like, oh, this is over. This is like,
Yeah,
if Vine existed now, you'd have like Gavin Newsom making Vines. It's like people,
yeah.
I don't know, like we can't have nice things. Uh, so yeah, if it comes back, you're like, no, I'm done. I'm out. I'm a podcast bro now. That's what I do.
I mean, first of all, I do not identify as a podcast bro.
Uh, I
I
identify
resent
you
that.
that
I
way. So
resent that. I am a podcast professional. I don't know
you're
what
a Mac
I
Weldon model, is what you
yeah,
are.
I don't call myself like even when I refer to myself as a trader, I do not identify as a trader. I do stock trading. I
Okay.
do a podcast.
You transcend labels, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I transcend labels. I am me. Even I'm a single guy when I'm dating out there in the world in Los Angeles, and yeah, these are I am not defined by the things that I do.
Okay. You're
I
not
am
defined by your
defined.
failed dating history, is what I heard from that.
I'm
Which,
defined by that. I'm defined by my terrible fashion sense.
yeah.
Um,
All right.
yeah, I really need to update my closet. Actually, I have very little good clothes. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, all that's to say, I don't think that Vine's coming back. I think that if anything, it's just another thing for Elon Musk to point at. Like, look what I did. I brought back the thing that everybody loved. Like,
yeah,
all right, cool.
totally. Well,
Congratulations.
TikTok's supposedly going away in 5 days. So I don't know. Like, no one's talking about that.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
that deadline's looming.
I don't believe
But
it.
I want to shift gears real quick because there was a crazy IPO yesterday, and it's funny because it was Newsmax. Everyone's
Yeah.
I was just on their website. I think we have an image of it. It's like graphic design is not their passion or their strong suit. Um, but there's like 11 fonts. I actually read the S1 on Sunday night, just for shits and giggles, and like they're growing like crazy. But this went off yesterday. Did you follow this as it was going down or
I'm
up? I
really
should say.
upset at myself because I didn't even know that it had happened. I don't know how it did not come across my radar. I didn't see it. I would have bought it because, yeah, it IPO'd at $10. Um, I think that, oh God, so it peaked at a $9 billion valuation, meaning that what, it debuted at a couple billion? Or 1 billion, or less than a billion, I would have, oh God. I've been following, I remember when Newsmax premiered, or whatever you would call it, however many years ago. I listened to LA Talk Radio, and this particular station has afternoon conservative shows, and they've been talking about Newsmax, and I just have been watching it ascend, and I know that it's the natural kind of, not successor to Fox News, but it is right up there with it for the conservative audience, conservative audiences, and with Trump in office, it makes sense, and I'm so upset that I missed that. Congratulations to anybody who bought it.
You think
Man,
it's gonna come back down to earth here pretty soon?
yeah, naturally, something like that IPOs at that. I mean, it could go to 200. I mean, 9 billion
Jeez.
isn't that crazy for such a name. It'll be fun to short, but I don't think that I'll be able to borrow shares actually. Now that I think about
Yeah.
it, but
Newsmax is one. It's interesting. Like I feel like the more extreme, either direction really, a TV station is, the more saturated the people are, and
mm,
they're very saturated on that channel.
yeah,
Like, there's a lot of orange tones. There's a lot of tangerine. It's very bright. It's airy. It's maybe that's what it is. That's the appeal. But it's tough to be in the media business right now, and I think you see the game is you can't, there's so much stratification of people's belief systems that your best bet is to just go in hard in one area and win that audience and sell a ton of my pillows, because if
yeah,
you try to do anything in the mass market, you're going to piss people off either way. um,
yeah.
but you think
There's
Fox should be scared of these guys?
no. I think that there's room for multiple conservative outlets. I think that especially, I mean, this is nothing new, but we've been seeing a lot of conservative kind of responses to liberal leaning. I mean, you've got Rumble, which is, and Kick, which are like the right's answer to YouTube and like liberal streaming services. What's another one? You got like the Happy Dad seltzers and Freedom. There was that guy who started like Freedom
What?
Beer.
Happy
You don't know,
Dad Seltzer?
you don't know about Happy Dad?
The hell's going on in
Ugh.
LA?
It's not even. I don't know if they're based out of LA, but
I just
there's
clicked I'm not 21. I can't even see. Did
yeah,
that.
there's all that's to say there's a major opportunity for, if you can
I'm
create.
sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. What is the Death Row collab? That's
I
not
have no
real.
idea. Maybe Death Row Records? Yeah,
Death
Death Row
Row
Records.
Records.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going. That's not real.
There's just, if I think that if you are an enterprising young man or woman, uh, there's a huge opportunity to create any kind of conservative alternative to any kind of left
Anything,
leaning
yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah,
this is Happy Dad's a conservative hard seltzer company. Am I following?
it's like a kind of, if you know, you know. Like, looking at the website, you wouldn't assume that it's conservative, but I believe it's owned by those. Do you know who the Nelk boys are?
Oh God. Unfortunately, yes. No
Yeah,
offense if you're friends with them. I know you're in the scene.
yeah, it's their. I believe it's owned by them.
Okay. Interesting.
And yeah, they're always doing collaborations with, the Tate brothers and stuff like that. It's definitely
Interesting. All right.
I
Well,
think
check
that
out
their
the Happy Dad
branding.
Death Row collab. Looks like it's a limited edition drop. Um, Synaptic in the chat, they talk about themselves more than they talk about stocks. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
man. Tell us what you want to talk about. We have a whole list though. We'll go back and deep into the markets. I know there's a lot going on. Apologize. I've never met Ben, so we're just, we're hanging, we're getting to know each
Yeah,
other.
relax,
We're
man.
just,
It's
yeah, we're just
pre-market.
like,
We
come
can talk
on.
about whatever we want.
Yeah. Um,
What do you tell us what stocks you want us to talk about, sir?
whenever I ask that, I always wish I didn't ask it. But
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see. I didn't mean to call you out also. We appreciate your viewership and your
Oh yeah, of
patronage.
course.
Um, well, let's talk about Rocket Companies. So Rocket Companies is on an M&A spree. They just bought
Mm,
Mr. Cooper Group for $9.4 billion, all stock.
That's
They
wild.
service 1 in 6 U.S. mortgages. Saw this one popping. I saw Mr. Cooper popping on What's Trending and Stocktwits yesterday. And I'm like, what the hell is that company? I'd never
Yeah,
heard of them in
I've
my
never heard
life.
of this. Coop is the ticker symbol.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, wow. Holy cannoli.
Yeah.
I
So I
mean,
know there's a lot of, if you go to the Better page, a lot of those investors are like, when are we going to get bought?
mm,
Don't know.
I follow and really like this guy Citrini,
Okay.
and he put out a big thing over the weekend um, about the coming recession, and he's labeling it as a wealth effect driven recession. And what he means by that is because 50% of all discretionary spending is done by the top 10% of uh, wealth own basically the top 10%, the top 10 wealthiest
Yep.
top 10% wealthiest Americans
Yep.
account for 50% of all discretionary spending. The the play that he's leaning into is uh, the companies and stocks that cater to those top 10% are probably the ones that will make for the best shorts. So, I mean, he's got an entire list, but there's like Ferrari, ticker
Yep.
symbol race. I mean, they're valued at $80 billion. Um, Duolingo is one because
Duolingo's a top. I guess that is like a who is who has time.
well, and if we are setting up for a recession, it stands to reason that people are gonna the first thing that they're gonna tighten their belt on is superfluous
Mm-hmm.
subscription things like that.
Yeah.
There's that. Spotify could be another.
Ooh.
But anyway, he talks about how some of the names like this Better Home and Finance holding company that caters, I believe, caters to the lower middle to lower income um, mortgage
Yeah.
uh, mortgage buyers could be one that stands to benefit um, from a coming recession. But anyway, his whole thing is that it's kind of an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its own tail in that as asset prices, as stocks drop, and that top 10% wealthiest cohort, because so much of their assets are in equities, as equities drop, hey, their bank accounts start to drop in kind, meaning that they're going to start tightening their belts, and it can potentially become this self-fulfilling thing that as stocks drop, it can be a stock-driven recession
Okay. Yeah.
instead of the other way around.
Yeah. I caught that headline too. That blew my mind. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but um, yeah, there's just a lot of, like you said, superfluous spending that's
Yeah.
concentrated in this one band. And you're right. If they start to see numbers going down in this account over here, they might be like, oh, you know what? I don't need to learn Bulgarian. Like, sorry. But yeah, I think it's fascinating to think about. And I think we had Lululemon. You a big Lulu guy over there, Ben, in LA?
No. Oh
Yeah,
man, yeah,
they
that thing's geez, that's down what, like 30% over the last couple months.
yeah, they had very muted guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though with them it's like I guess yes, their consumers are right in that bucket that you were just talking about, but also they're kind of getting their lunch eaten by like Aloe and some of the others. I feel like these athleisure brands kind of flip through in popularity over time, and like their time is coming, perhaps, maybe
Hmm.
not, um, but yeah, they're going through it right now.
Nike's another one that's been in a consistent downtrend. Um,
Yep.
Williams Sonoma is another one that's a big
Oh, that's a great top.
luxury
That's a
name.
great top 10% stock. That's like I feel like that's
Restoration
like the
Hardware.
poster art.
Yeah. Restoration Hardware is another. I mean, they're down from
They're
a high of,
reporting. Did they report yesterday? They're reporting this week.
I think I'm showing tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be a good one.
They've dropped about 200 points as well from a high of like just about 460. I'm actually short Duolingo, just common shares, which is rare for me. I'm short some Ferrari. I'm short some Spotify. I mean, even though I just said that it's likely that people start to tighten their belts in these subscription things, there's also something to be said for the fact that you're not paying that much per month, and if you are starting to tighten your belt across the board, maybe you do keep some of the. I mean, I'm not gonna end my Spotify subscription because of anything. That's
Yeah, how are
one
you
of
going to listen to yourself?
yeah, and people like to keep their entertainment going.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, just the stickiness of the product is the beauty of the subscription, and like we can get into like what Robinhood's doing with their subscription, but it's a hell of a lot easier to just not drop a bag at Lululemon than it is to untie and like untangle. Especially now, it's like Hulu plus Spotify plus Disney. Like you, like it's like a
mhm.
mess. And I think that's the subscription is that's the beauty of that business. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get off of those.
It is. Booking.com is another one that I think is due for a big potential pullback, and it's due to a lot of things. If everybody's anticipating a recession, people are already in surveys, and the data is already showing that I mean Airbnb bookings are down. Airbnb itself has had quite a drop.
I was just gonna
And
ask you about them.
I mean, even
Um,
just I saw some data from Airbnb actually. Uh, it's a little more granular, but I guess bookings from Canadians visiting America is down like 70%. Um,
yeah.
because obviously of the tensions between the two countries. But yeah, if everybody is openly cutting back on spending, travel's one of the big ones. And then domestically, I don't know if you can really attribute it to this, but there's the fear around the safety of flying recently.
Yeah.
But I don't know that anybody's actually stopping themselves from going anywhere because they're actually afraid of a plane crash. I think that that's just sensationalist kind of headlines about, oh, it's pretty dangerous out there, all these plane crashes. Like,
Yeah.
anybody actually uh, not taking that flight because of that? I don't think so. But I do think that with people's fear of losing their jobs or just everything happening, travel is going to be one of the immediate things that. Wow, Newsmax is at 130 right now.
How's your FOMO? Are you feeling the fever? The
Uh,
Newsmax
I
fever?
I mean something like this that's such crazy FOMO. I don't have FOMO on that. I'm just
Okay,
like,
let
well,
it
I missed
rip.
that.
I wonder if there's like an adjacent altcoin that someone has made. Newsmax coin. Like this is gonna happen now. There's gonna be these like derivative meme things that up too.
I
Oh,
also do think
and
was that on my end. Sorry.
no, that's the opening bell.
Mm.
That's the little
Well,
stock
there's a
market
chat that
opening.
I'm in that has that bell
Okay.
going too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go. Tesla's up so far. We like that. Oh boy.
What's
Uh,
the oh boy?
my Ferrari is squeezing up a little
Uh,
bit, but that's okay.
okay. How's your
But
dog's tail? back
Dog's
there?
tail. He's fine. He's having a little schluff behind me, sleepy.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, all right. So yeah, so we're gonna see what happens here, but there's some other headlines we can pop through. One of them, while we're kind of waiting for things to settle out, did you
mhm.
see that Hooters declared bankruptcy? Did you see this? Oh my God, he froze. That's the worst. That is the worst possible time to freeze. I can't talk about this one by myself. Are you back? Oh my God. I was going to have to
Am I
go on
back?
and on about this. You're back. You froze for a second.
Jeez.
I was like, I got nothing to say about
Uh,
this.
Hooters. Um,
Following this
yeah,
one at all?
yeah. I've been following that a little bit. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to restructure. It's a Chapter 11, I think.
Yeah. There's
Good
gotta,
for
yeah.
them.
I think some of these, I mean, they have their own shtick.
Yeah.
But some of these, I think this is a pocket too of the market, not the top 10%, but like just like spending you don't need to be spending. And now, like, I grew up going to Chili's and stuff. Now you go there and it's like $30 for a salad. It's like, this is Chili's. What are we
Yeah.
doing? Um,
Um, Speaking of restaurants, I think DoorDash could be. That's one that I'm thinking about getting short, but then I'm like,
mm,
is that one that people would cut back on if they are trying to tighten their belts? Would they start cooking at home, or actually would it be the opposite, where it's like they're so depressed, they're at home, they're just like, screw it, I'll put it on the credit card, you know?
yeah. I mean,
Mm.
well, my perspective, I can go to the store and buy ingredients for dinner, or I can Uber Eats or DoorDash, and it's basically the same. I'm sure if I planned better, I'm not a good planner.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm curious about like DoorDash regionally. Is that more popular in LA? Because in New York, everyone just uses Uber Eats.
Um,
At least my friend group.
I remember a lot of people using Caviar in New York, but
Oh, that's a
uh,
throwback. They're not. They cannot be around anymore.
they are still around. I think they might. I
What?
want to say they got bought out by someone, but
Maybe like American Express or something.
I use DoorDash in part
Okay.
because there was a promotion between them and American Express for a while, and it got me in. So I use it. I like it. I use it for. I usually order pickups so that I'm not incurring the delivery fee and the tip and all that stuff. But
Wow. Savvy. Look at you.
yeah, there's that. What else was I gonna potentially short? Yeah, I had Williams Sonoma. Oh, you know what? You could get long. Dollar General, Dollar Tree. These are ones that have already kind of been beaten up.
Hmm.
And again, if people are going to be tightening their belts, they might. In as much as Walmart last quarter said they're starting to see a shift from higher income earners start to shop there, starting to tighten their belts. They're lowering themselves to shopping at Walmart. I think that you could see a similar thing with Dollar Tree and Dollar General.
What do you think of
Again,
Costco? I feel like rich people love Costco.
rich people do love Costco. That is another one that could be a short, I think, as people
Hmm.
are like, do I need to be spending however much money?
It's
And
another subscription, though. You're already a member.
exactly.
Yeah, that's how
but
they
it's
get you.
but it's pretty cheap. It's like $80 a year or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, but it's like one
And
of those things. Celsius is up 3%. Let's see what's going on with that one. Are you a big Celsius drinker?
no,
That was like a
God,
really
I
sad note. Did something happen?
no, I
There's like
just
a
regret
personal.
when it first was popping off in like 2020. I thought that it was, I didn't know what Celsius was,
Yeah.
and I thought that it was just another like penny stock essentially. And I thought, I've seen enough penny stocks in my day where they have a real product and it's a real thing, but I just ignored it, and I
Yeah.
to my own demise because yeah, it's ugh. I'm
Well,
gonna see if
according to
there's
why it's trending, the acquisition of Alani Nu went through. Obviously, there was a flurry of beverage acquisitions. You had Poppy. Um, I didn't know what Alani Nu was. I guess a
I didn't know either.
it's a women's version of Celsius, which is weird. It's an energy drink. I don't know how to gender that, but um, that's popping. See what else is making moves here. PVH up 17%. That's the
I
parent
don't even know
company
what
of
the hell
Tommy.
PVH is.
That's the parent company of Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, They
Ooh.
must have had. That's surprising. They must have outperformed. Yeah, they surpassed Q4 targets.
Ralph
The
Lauren is
90s are
another one. It could
back.
be Ralph Lauren, ticker symbol RL. That could be
Yep.
another one to potentially look at getting short. I could short Newsmax right now, but it would cost me $1.65 per share. That is too much.
Okay.
I don't think I'm
Well,
gonna. Should I do it, Katy Perry?
I think you should do it. I think you should do it right now. Yeah. Do
Ah,
it. Do
I
it.
mean, I could see it
Which, can I
squeezing
ask
out
what
under.
trading platform you use, or are you not allowed to say because you're
No,
affiliated
I
with
use
somebody?
something called Sterling Lightspeed.
What? What is that?
Lightspeed is what it's a professional. It's a professional ass.
Oh. Why do
Trading
you
thing.
like it? Would you ever switch to the Robinhood professional version?
No, because I trade at a prop firm, and this is the software that I
Okay.
need to use because that's the only one that they work with. So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that explanation was going to be more interesting than it was. So
no, that's it.
I used to work at a brokerage. I worked at public.com, which was like a Robinhood competitor, still is
Oh, I know
smaller, but
public.
yeah. So yeah, I saw Moo sponsors your other pod, right?
Yeah,
I know
that's
people
right.
at Moo. Um, yeah, I got nervous because I was watching one show and you mentioned compliance and you said Glenn, but you must have been talking about your company and you're
Hmm.
like R.I.P. Glenn. And Glenn was the compliance guy at Public who went to Moo. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, is Glenn okay? I like Googled it. And he's fine. So you were talking about a different Glenn.
No, I think it's got to be the same Glenn. He worked at Public. Glenn Stifelman.
He's still at Moo.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
well, you
meant
said.
RIP because he used to work at my prop firm and he was the
Oh,
compliance guy there and he had to make sure that I was compliant every week for the podcast. So he had to
okay.
review every episode. So I would give him a shout out. And
Amazing. Okay, I'm glad
now that
he's
he's no longer
okay.
there, yeah,
Jesus.
he's totally fine. He's great.
Yeah, he used to I told him I liked the Allman Brothers and he would like send me YouTube clips of the Allman Brothers. It was like
That's
very
very Glenn.
wholesome. Um, let's check back in and where we're looking at in the major indices. Down a little bit in the Dow Jones, minus 0.5%, S&P minus 0.4%, NASDAQ down a bit, VIX. Anything standing out to you, Ben, in this moment?
Yeah, we've got the inside day setting up so far. I think that today's range is going to be very, very limited. Um, and I think that the VIX will probably end up going red on the day. I think we're just kind of consolidating, going sideways from yesterday's move, which makes sense because usually big moves like that tend to, what follows when the VIX is lower like this, you tend to see a little bit of sideways action, and everybody's digesting uh, the previous day's big price action. And I think everybody's just waiting with bated breath for tomorrow's big day. Um, yeah, I just want it to be over. I just want there to be a clear like, okay, we know
I
one way
feel
or
like
the
it's
other
not, we're not
exactly.
gonna, I feel like we're not gonna get that. I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
Um,
I agree with you. I think we're not going to get that. Oh, would you look at that? Newsmax has halted.
oh, we
See,
haven't
this is
seen, that hasn't happened in a little bit, right?
a Newsmax halting.
No, just like anything noteworthy halting. I feel like that hasn't been a
Yeah, it's
thing
been a few
lately.
weeks for
Yeah.
sure. It's already it's squeezed out a little more to 135.
Wow.
I think that
Okay.
it could go to 180 or 200. I think people like myself. That's why I stopped myself. I was like, should I short this? No, it's got more to go.
Oh man.
It has way more to go.
Who would have thunk that?
Yeah. Ugh.
I guess you got these. So I'm curious, Ben, because like you do day trading, but are you like in terms of like when Shai's on, he's got his like roster of like he will like jump in front of a bus for these stocks. Do you
Mhm.
have any like companies you're very like high conviction about, or are you mostly in the the day to day, no feelings, just transactions?
I'm mostly in the day to day, no feelings, just transactions, but I currently like my three favorite stocks are I do like Reddit, even though it kind of recently got beat down. There were headlines about uh, their their daily it was either their daily or monthly active user numbers have dropped a little bit or are not growing as fast as the market was anticipating. And then there was stuff about advertising money not coming as not being as strong, like across the board.
Yeah.
But I think that the stock price has already reflected that. It's been cut in half from the that all-time high at 225. So I think that a lot of it is baked in another instance of, well, if whatever numbers end up coming out aren't as bad as it's priced for total, in as much as the stock can be priced for perfection, this one is now currently priced for utter failure. And
Mm.
anything less than that, I think that they're going to figure it out. They still have a lot of they're just starting to make a push internationally. They're using AI to translate into other languages to push into these other countries. Um, they're just starting to kind of figure out better ways to monetize the platform. And I think that it's still pretty early for them. I think that they'll figure it out. And it's, oh no, is it time down?
Oh,
Is Reddit down?
did Reddit just go down?
That would be fine. I mean,
Breaking news. You heard it here.
no, it's up for me.
It's up. Okay. We might be having Wi-Fi
But
issues on the back
there's
end.
that. I really like this, and I'm down on it pretty big right now, actually. It's called Chart Industries. They are a natural gas play.
Okay.
And they, for the last several years, have just been putting out beat after beat, quarter after quarter. Um, and I really like them. I like the chart too, especially the weekly. They've just been really consolidating in this big, years long sideways move. And natural gas prices are soaring, and I just think that it's one that's got a lot of room to grow. Um, but
So
maybe
you
there's
do have
something that
some
I don't know.
favorites. You do have some favorites in there. The
Yeah, and
Reddit.
then my biggest favorite, sorry,
Okay.
this
Go
last
for
one,
it.
it's the one that I am heaviest on. They are called Arcutis Biotherapeutics. The ticker symbol is ARQT.
Okay.
And they make this, they've got this product that recently was greenlit by or approved by the FDA. It's called Zoriv. And it's a topical, they've got a foam, they've got a gel, and it's prescribed for seborrheic dermatitis, which is dandruff, which was prescribed for me. I know that that's very attractive to everybody out there, but your boy has some dry skin on his scalp that persists. And it's like, I'll just start from the beginning. It was
Okay.
suggested to me, this product, last year by my dermatologist because I was going
Okay.
back again, going, I still have dry scalp. And the dermatologist said, well, there's this new product I could prescribe for you. It's this foam, and it's supposed to be like, it's not a cure because there is no cure for dandruff, but it's supposed to be like a miracle treatment if you want to try that. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. It sounds whatever. And then a couple months later, I was so frustrated. I said, you know what? Screw it. Let me try it. And it worked like gangbusters. It was incredible. Then I went on to Reddit to see if other people were talking about it, and sure enough, all over Reddit there's like a,
Wow.
dandruff subreddit.
What's
People are
that
talking
like?
about what's that like?
Yeah. What's
It's
like?
depressing, and it's a lot of people just posting photos of their scalp saying, "Is this dandruff?"
Oh,
And it's like, yeah, but everybody, I would say 90% of people had the same experience, like just
interesting.
elation of nothing has worked for years. This has finally like cleared up my scalp. Oh my god, oh my god. That made me buy it right then and
Okay.
there. That alone.
Wow.
But then I learned that it is also recently approved for treating eczema and psoriasis, which are two famously difficult things to treat. Again, no
Okay.
cure. And what is currently used to treat these things is topical steroids. And topical steroids come with all sorts of nasty, undesirable side effects, thinning of the skin, and all sorts of stuff. And they also don't work very well sometimes. But this stuff is, again, like, I went on the eczema subreddit, I went on the psoriasis subreddit,
Wow.
and the people who have used this are like, I have no idea how I went this long without this product. And
You're gonna clip this and
the
turn it into
total
an ad.
addressable market also for this is
Very
massive.
high.
I think every year, I think the figure is something like 17 million. There are 17 million prescriptions for topical steroids for eczema and psoriasis out there, which represents a massive opportunity for them.
Yeah.
As you know, people want an alternative to topical steroids. And just one last thing, anecdotally, our former producer for our podcast like a month ago, if you actually go onto my Stocktwits, it should be my most recent post. Benjo is my username on there. He had massive sores on his hand. He has eczema on his hand, and he came in one day and was complaining about how it was. There it is. It was so bad. That's the before, and I said, "Here, use my foam," and that's a week later. Cleared
Wow.
it right up, and he said, "This is like better than anything I've ever used before."
I mean, I
And
like this. I like this anecdote because I think we're like a lot of times we're talking about companies that are solving like agentic AI and like AGI and like sometimes there's just products that frickin' work and those could be good investment opportunities and you wouldn't I was going to ask you how you discovered this. You were a consumer, it looks like. And also, when you said the name, I was like wondering if it was like an early stage biotech, but it looks like this is in the market.
yeah,
Adjacent to this, do you have any thoughts on hymns?
yeah. Another one that I'm ticked off that I didn't. I owned a bunch of it in the teens, and I wish that I had held on to it. Men do be losing their hair.
Yeah.
Men do be having weak boners, and um, they they clearly I don't have either of these issues, but um, their branding is ingenious. The way that they've taken the whole generic but with good branding avenue is just. Would I buy the dip here? I don't know, because I don't know this. I haven't been following it, and I know that a big reason that it kind of dropped from the highs was that the Ozempic shortage has kind of been resolved, and that was
Yeah.
a big part of why they're going up. But that doesn't, even
I
though the
mean, talk
shortage
about
has
a
been
TAM
resolved.
in that one. Have you thought about like
Yeah,
I
no
was thinking,
kidding.
how do you pick winners in that space? Because there's like multiple players. The TAM is huge. It's not going to be winner take all, right? There's just going to be. I just don't see. I feel like we're so early in the adoption of these products. I mean, you're in LA.
Right. I think that I just think that the big money has already been made. I mean, Novo Nordisk had been on a tear for the last couple of years, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I mean, yeah. Let's see, what's their five? I mean, yeah. I mean, they tripled, but I I think at this point, yeah, it's already kind of baked in, and from here it'll just be, okay, how much more money are they actually making? What are the economics? What their margins and stuff? It's no
Yeah.
longer driven by the headlines. It's no longer driven. These stock moves are no longer driven um, by the flashy headlines about how many people are on GLP-1s. It's kind of old news. We all know. We all know
Yeah.
that it's like a miracle thing, and it's now kind of a wait and see for the the long duration of how long people are going to be on them, how many more people are going to be prescribed them, how much money these companies make, and yeah, the competition. I think that Hims, they're because even though they don't have the Ozempic brand name, I don't know that that's going to matter going forward. And
No,
if
I know
they're able
people
to,
are like I know a lot of people on like the off brand. It's like
yeah,
not even like
because
Ozempic's almost like the basic one now.
yeah, if it's the if it's just as good, then I think that it's fine, and people are going to go to what's, especially if people have bad insurance or no insurance, it's easier to just go through a company like Hims where you can get it for, excuse me, you can get it off label for way, way, way cheaper.
Yeah.
And that goes for the hair stuff and the sex pills too. But yeah, I think that
The thing I do think about the Ozempic though is like if you stop taking it, you go back to where you were. And I think about businesses like this that are like innately they're like addictive,
mhm,
energy drinks, cigarette, like that is tough. Once you're on that train and you're a customer, that is a hard train to get off of if it's like
true.
fundamentally changing your life. Um, I, did you see this comment, Ben, in the
No,
chat?
tell me.
Somebody in the YouTube chat wants you to say poop. Did I just fall for an April Fool's joke?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna
Oh,
say. I'm not.
I think I did.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, every freaking
No, I get suckered all. That's why I just don't read the chat. I have somebody else
Heath,
tell me if
god
something
damn
has
it.
popped up that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Because
I don't know
otherwise
why
people just.
someone would. Oh, is that because you went on that rant about that dog in your neighborhood?
Uh, Probably. Yeah, I'm really mad. There's some scoundrel out there in my neighborhood who doesn't clean up after their dog, and it's a big dog. Oh, would you look at that? The VIX went red.
All right.
Not gonna say I called it, but I called it.
Interesting.
That's why I
All
make the
right.
big bucks.
Back to bed for you. All in
Oh
a
no,
day's
I'm
work.
already up.
Um,
Um, I'm eagerly anticipating these Tesla numbers, though. I tell you, I think that that's going to be very, very fun.
you think it's good? What's your prediction? Just like
My
generally.
prediction is that it's going to spike. I think it could go to 300 because we've reached peak inflection of normies talking about the stock price, and when you reach that point, it's more than likely that the bottom is in, and that's not any kind of endorsement of Elon Musk or the company or anything. I just think that when it has been priced for the total opposite of perfection, anything slightly better than terrible, terrible numbers is
Yeah.
going to result in
Well,
a
I
short
guess
squeeze.
that's my question to you then would because I get that like you're talking about the share price. I'm thinking like the last few months of this company's trajectory
Hmm.
and isn't it in the realm of possibility that could be horrible? The delivery numbers?
Yeah, I mean, if the numbers are horrible, horrible, then yeah, it drops 20%.
So you're saying if it's even like quasi bad but not the worst like it's going to be fine, but like cuz people are anticipating a little bit of a hit.
Mhm.
Okay. Because
I
I'm curious from the other side of like the consumer perspective. I'm like, all right, like how many of these people who said they were selling them or never going to buy again? How many of the conservative people who said they were going to buy them did? Um,
right.
like I think that's interesting to play out because you talked earlier about just like polling and data and surveys and even the surveys about Canadians traveling to the U.S. It's so funny because the surveys say people are like, oh yeah, I'm not going, and then but the flight data, I think Air Canada released flight data, and it's like I don't know, it's down like 3%. It's not great, but it's not awful. So like
Hmm.
people will say things, and we see this in the sentiment surveys. They'll say things, and then they'll act a completely different way, which is
I've got an anecdote. Um,
okay.
I know some people, friend of a friend, this couple. We all went out the other night and they gave me a ride back to my car, and they had a brand new Tesla that they had just bought. And I'm talking just bought in like February, so, or maybe even just this last month. But they said, yeah, the Elon Musk stuff sucks and it's kind of embarrassing, but we couldn't not with the price. It was just too good to pass up,
Oh,
and we wanted a good car, and we just kind of were like, please don't be mad at us. And I said, yeah, I don't care. Good for you. You need a car. It's, you know. So I think that there's something to be said for people saying one thing and doing another. Also, with the news cycle the way it is, I feel like we are getting past the inflection point of peak Elon hate as it pertains to Tesla sales. I think that people will calm down. I think the main targets are people with Cybertrucks.
Yeah, that's a whole other statement you're making.
The Cybertruck is the big statement piece. If
Yeah.
you've got any other car, I think it's safe to assume that you're not some terrible person. Not that if you own a Cybertruck, you're a terrible person, but
There's a hot.
I,
Just
I
kidding.
think, well, yeah, I mean, that's debatable. But I think that I think that it's sensationalist headlines because it
Yeah.
gets clicks. And if you went just off the headlines, you would assume that in LA and New York and big markets, San Francisco, that there are roving gangs of people with spray paint just ready to tag up any
Yeah.
Tesla that they see. No. Even
Yeah.
in my super left-leaning area of Los Angeles, I see Cybertrucks all the time, and nobody's like standing on the street corner flipping them off.
Yeah.
They're not all getting tagged up.
Yeah.
The real world continues to be, for the most part, it's not what the headlines would have you think. Therefore, yeah, if
So
these
you think the
delivery
deliveries will
numbers,
be okay?
I think that they'll just be a little uh, less underwhelming than the market
Well,
is
they
anticipating.
better because BYD's coming in hot.
Yeah, I mean, boy, those Chinese, man.
They're ripping. It's funny you brought up that anecdote though. I have a little newsletter I write, and tomorrow or Thursday I'm writing about once influx of news and bad news about one topic over and over. Like psychologically, it just desensitizes. It becomes normal, and I think you hit on that with we might be getting at peak Musk hate
Mhm.
pending, whatever. But you're right. And then eventually over time, people kind of just get used to it. Like human beings just go
Sure.
on. So yeah, the psychological side of some of this stuff, especially as products are being politicized, is very interesting to watch. So we will definitely be looking for those delivery numbers. Ben, is there anything else this week that you have your eyes on? I think like BlackBerry's reporting later. I know you mentioned Restoration Hardware. What else do you have circled on your little notepad for the week?
Rivian delivery numbers also, actually.
Okay.
I really like the chart setting up there, especially the weekly. It is a very, very sexy bottoming chart. Oh boy, yeah, that is just as sexy as it gets. And I think you're getting a lot of, I mean, Rivian is already, in my opinion, such a superior product to Tesla. Also, anecdotally, I think the build quality is much, much, much better, and it's got a pretty. I mean, they're gorgeous cars. I see
They're
them all over Los
gorgeous.
Angeles. They're
But
really cool
so
looking.
Ben, they're so expensive. They're
They
like
are so
2x, right? Isn't there min the 2x what the lowest Tesla is?
Maybe that's
I'm
possible.
I'm for some reason on I live in New York. I haven't driven a car in 10 years. I'm on some Rivian mailing list because I'm like, yeah, I signed up. And they're like giving me updates of this car is going to be ready and stuff. And I'm just like, it's like an $80,000 car.
Yeah,
But it's beautiful.
it
Beautiful
is
design.
beautiful. And if they start to show any inkling toward eating Tesla's lunch, I think that they could see a nice squeeze. I think, what is the short interest? I want to say it's in the 20 or 30%. Let's see, short interest, 16% according to Yahoo Finance. But yeah, I have some short dated calls on that, some April 17th, and then I have some September calls. I think that if it has a little bit of a breakout, it could be really fun. So yeah, that's what I'll be watching.
Rivian. Do you know
And
what day that is?
I don't know what day. I mean, if
coming up.
Tesla's come out tomorrow, I would assume that Rivians are
Right around.
not too far behind.
All right. Well, keep a lookout for that. And I know we're getting jobs numbers in a couple days. We're getting, of course, tomorrow is Liberation Day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you going to take the day off of work? Or how are you spending your Liberation Day, Ben?
I am, I'm gonna make fun of every foreigner that I see to their face.
good luck with that. You know,
Yeah.
should go well for you.
Yeah.
I might, yeah, maybe I'll dress red, white, and blue. I don't know. It feels kind of, I don't know. It feels French to me. It feels Les
Mm.
Mis. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it
like,
does.
I feel like I need to like go sing with people and
Maybe I'll buy a
chant.
gun. Maybe I'll
Oh,
buy a gun and just walk with it down the street.
I mean, I think that's the vibe that they're going
Shoot it in
for.
the air
Yeah.
to celebrate Liberation Day.
Don't do that. You'll scare your dog, and he already has the cone on. You don't want to
Yeah,
do that.
you're right. Oh, poor guy.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay. I don't know that he'll be
Yeah.
okay. I hope he's okay.
He'll be fine.
Well, Ben, this was hilarious and fun. I'm glad we finally got to meet.
Yeah, same.
You have to
It's
have
nice.
me on. I want to do a guest spot on your show now.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So you got to let me know when you have like you need someone to come in with some like hot takes. Drop me in
Okay.
for a segment. You know, no
Mhm.
pressure, but that would be fun. And I
Yeah.
guess I'll see you in New York at
That's
the
right.
Hashtag Awards, which you
Hashtag
can
awards,
buy
end of the
tickets for, and you should also vote for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ben, thank you much. Thank you so much again. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. And Shai is back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Katy Perry.